We are taught about individuals that are similar to you pretty often.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I would hope that
It just comes to a certain point where there isn't business to be had anymore, that then they're going to ask you to leave. Like once your business is completed,
yeah,
it's going to have to be a point.
But who decides when my business is done?
I'm going to ask you what your business is exactly.
Yeah. So my business is taking pictures and video inside of the
So you've taken your pictures and video?
No, I haven't finished taking my pictures.
Well, how about
and video.
this? I'll hang out with you for a little bit, let you take your pictures and video, and then obviously your business is completed.
Yeah, whenever I'm done. That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, but obviously if you're taking continuous video, you don't need to videotape one spot for more than a certain number of seconds, correct?
Yeah, I just don't like being told what to do. Why would I need to be told?
I understand that.
Would you like to be told what to do in a public building?
All the time.
Well, that's your job. I work for myself. So during my job, I don't like to be told. Your job is to protect.
I will say that this room right now, though, is not open.
Welcome back, everybody. Some of you guys know I'm a law enforcement trainer instructor. I train and instruct military and law enforcement all across the country on various law enforcement disciplines to include constitutional law, case law, patrol tactics, use of force, investigations, etc. And here we have Long Island Audit at it again. I love watching Long Island Audit. I think he goes about activism in such a way that we are starting to see sequential changes, especially there in the Northeast, because, call it what you want. A lot of people in law enforcement do not like him. He makes waves, but he, as far as understanding the case law precedents and knowing, as how far he can go, he definitely acts accordingly. And so whether you like that or not, again, is of no consequence, especially to him. It's of no consequence to him. And so it seems like with the various court cases that he's won, he knows his stuff, and he's one of those gentlemen that I foresee going to the Supreme Court. It almost seems like that's his desire. And so if it's his desire to go to the Supreme Court and make a name for himself, I think he's well on his way. And so here's just a few interesting things from just an instructor point of view. So this officer says something very interesting, and that is, we've learned about you, we've heard about you, we talk about people like you. And so that's kind of concerning to me as an instructor, because if you're aware of what he's trying to do, right? Sean from Long Island Audit, what's he doing? He is bringing Supreme Court case precedents to your face and asking you to violate it, right? It's plain and simple. Like when we cut this down to just the elements of what it is that he's doing, he's going to public places where he's constitutionally allowed to be, and constitutionally presenting you with Supreme Court case precedences, seeing if you're going to be an officer who's going to blatantly disrespect the oath of office that you took. That's literally all he does. And so the idea that, and I'm sure that law enforcement has had special trainings on him. I'm sure that he has come up many times in the NCIC Fusion Center updates. I'm sure that his face, along with information about him, has been disseminated probably everywhere up in the Northeast. So it's clear that he is not unknown. He's not an unknown person. And so the idea that law enforcement has talked about him, gathered information, and understands what he's doing, but still acts in this way is just, to me, is shocking. It's just completely shocking. I don't understand unless there's something going on at the top that none of us are seeing. I don't understand why law enforcement continues to kind of go in this circular OODA loop with Sean. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It's just mind-boggling to me. But so that's the first thing. The next thing, as a law enforcement instructor, we have to understand, if we know anything about Sean, he does not care. It seems like getting arrested is of no consequence to him. Now, I'm sure he doesn't want to get arrested. I'm sure he doesn't enjoy the booking process, nor I don't think anyone necessarily does. But he's one of those activists that has zero fear of jail, right? Zero fear of reprisal as far as taking the ride. That seems to be something of no consequence to him. So understanding that, if that happens, right, if you do take him into custody, knowing that he has resources, knowing that he's going to sue, have you thought it through? I mean, you've talked about it, but as law enforcement, have you really thought through what you're going to say on the stand? Because this officer seems to understand that Sean can be there and record. He's not saying that he can't. It seems like with this officer is trying to get Sean to concede is this idea that he, as the officer, gets to decide when that business is done, when that business is completed. And so that, to me, is mind-boggling because he knows Sean's allowed to record in public spaces. He's aware of that. And so for any law enforcement officer out there that is watching this, like, let's really just talk about what it is that we're attempting to create a nexus for. Because that's literally what this officer's trying to do. He's trying to create a nexus on the fly. I mean, call it what it is. That's essentially what he's doing. So the officer knows that recording in public spaces is permissible by state law, constitutional statute, Supreme Court case precedents. So that's not up for discussion. At least this officer is not. What this officer is trying to say is, Sean, you have completed your business because I am going to elect and decide when your business is done. So based upon my observations, I have concluded that your business is now completed. Not knowing what your business is, I am going to go ahead and take prerogative and state your business is constitutionally done here and now. That's what he's saying. 110% is what he's saying. And so if you're a law enforcement officer and this is the route you want to go, again, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but be expected to get on a court stand, get that $900 an hour attorney, and expect him to question you as what gives you the authoritative gumption, what authoritates you and merits you the ability to conclude somebody else's business that is not in fact your own. Now, if you can point to an actual crime, that would probably be a good place to start with, but if not, how comfortable are you going to be on a stand trying to articulate the conclusion of somebody's business that's not your own, nor do you even know what said business is? I can tell you that I definitely would not feel comfortable I would never put myself in this situation. I can't even articulate to you how this officer would get on the stand and try to conclude somebody else's business that he has no idea why he's there in the first place. And somehow he's going to, articulate, you have so many seconds per square inch, per square foot, this idea that this officer is so confident in, and the idea that he's even going down this rabbit trail, is nothing short of negligence, in my opinion. And again, it's just my humble opinion, but I just factually, I don't even know how he's going to be able to articulate and defend that arrest if he were to make that arrest. So again, it's clear that, again, law enforcement knows of Sean, knows of activists like Sean. And if they do, then they should know what he's there to do, right? He's there to just quote case law to you and see if you're going to violate Supreme Court case precedents that has already been set. And again, he's not afraid to take the ride. And so trying to go about it this way and trying to, on the fly, connect a nexus as to being able to articulate when you believe his business is complete based on a business model that you're completely unaware of. If you don't find that troubling, I just don't know what else to. We can just let's just end it here. I have no idea what or why he's even going down that road. But again, this is happening in real time all over the place in the United States of America. So again, if you're law enforcement, I'm not going to tell you how to do your job, but at some point, if you're going to be making these arguments, again, expect people to get on the stand and defend them. If not, know your lane, stick with it, train, understand case law, and go out there, serve and protect. Well, I hope this video was helpful for you guys. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Tell me, what do you guys think of this? What are your thoughts on this? How would anybody even articulate that? I'm curious to know in the comment section below. As always, guys, long live the Republic.